It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV. Welcome, friends and neighbors. I'm Tyler Kieft. Thanks for joining us. Close to home as fall athletics season comes to an end at West Bloomfield High School, the season of dreams comes true and gets underway as well. Civic Center TV reporter Jake Schaff is at the I Center at West Bloomfield High School with more.
West Bloomfield High School is a school that is jam-packed with athletic talent, and just recently was the first of many signing days of the 2025-26 school year, as 3 incredibly talented senior athletes signed their letters of intent to continue their athletic prowess at the collegiate level. It was a powerful and emotional day to see the impact these athletes have made in their short time at West Bloomfield High School, and to cheer them on as they take the next steps in their journey.
It was amazing. It really shows that I'm stepping into a new chapter of my life, and now I'm super excited to see what's here to come. I always love being around family, and it was great to see everyone come out and support me today. It just means that I made a difference in a way, if that makes sense, and I really left my mark here, especially on the court.
It's always a great day to see high school students, athletes, sign for to play another 4 years. Not a lot of kids get a chance to play the next 4 years, and Amani was, in the dozen years that I've coached varsity volleyball, is probably the best offensive player I've had. So to see her excel and to be able to have the opportunity to play, I knew she'd have an opportunity to play at the next level, but to see her sign, it's always a special day.
It feels great. You know, this is a moment that I've been looking forward to for forever since I started playing basketball. So it's just a surreal feeling, and it's just a very great experience. I'm very blessed.
And you had some very, very great words from your coach, but also from a lot of the people you've played basketball with. That had to have been such an incredible surprise to see during this special day.
Yes, it was very surprising. I wasn't ready for that, but it felt really good. I've been with these girls for a really long time now, and these are my very close friends, and to hear these words coming from them is just a very good feeling.
Well, Sheridan's truly loved. I mean, she's loved beyond the coaches, our teammates, her classmates, and I just thought it'd be a great opportunity for her to get her flowers, so to speak, from her teammates and also some of the other players that play other sports. But I tell you one thing that was unique was seeing one of her AAU teammates here just coming to support her. It was a phenomenal, loving time.
That's got to mean such great things for the school as well, to see this impact right in front of them.
Yeah, it's great for the community. It's great for the schools. The kids, they're not there on campus yet, but to play another 4 years at college and to have that ability to meet new people, have another group of teammates to play with and coaches, and to excel and to travel. And there's a lot of things that you get that's beyond high school. And it's just another 4 years to be able to excel and make your dreams come true.
And heading off to college, playing for Tennessee, what are you looking forward to at the collegiate level?
I'm looking forward to being a strong player at the college level. I feel like I've gotten to that point here in high school and club. Now going into college, I also want to make a mark there and just see how far my career can take me.
It just inspires me to be the best person that I can be. Coming from West Bloomfield, I'm around a lot of greatness, and it gives me not necessarily a head start, but it gives me a lot to stand on, a lot of resources, and it just makes me want to live up to the expectations of the school.
There is so much to look forward to for these student athletes once they make it to college, but they got to get through senior year first, and to make this last year of their high school athletic career the best it can be, and to make an even bigger name for themselves for the future. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
More on that coming up later on in the program. In the meantime, you can congratulate all of those athletes on the West Bloomfield School District's Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools, or if Instagram is more of your speed, their handle on Instagram is W Bloomfield Schools. So West Bloomfield Schools on Facebook, W Bloomfield Schools on Instagram. Your laundry room is an area of the home dedicated to the fresh feeling of warm, clean clothes. But behind the scenes, something that is happening in your dryer could become a nightmare that puts your entire home at risk. The National Fire Protection Agency, or NFPA, reports that from 2014 to 2018, dryers were the source for 4% of home structure fires. However, there are steps that you can take to prevent these hazards and keep your dryer's heat focused solely on those newly washed clothes. Civic Center TV's Jake Schaff spoke to a local expert, Jason Carlock, to learn more.
Jason, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Now, this is obviously something that you see time and time again because of your job. What are some of the most common causes of dryer fires that you tend to see in your line of work?
Well, it really boils down to whether or not the dryer has space to breathe. So if that dryer venting gets clogged or crushed or anything such as that, and you impede that flow, then the heat can't escape from the dryer as it's supposed to. So the dryer ends up getting super, super hot, and which could cause the lint inside the venting to combust and start a fire.
That's right. It really shows the importance of checking those lint traps and to make sure that the lint is removed every single time, or at least every so often. And you can see some photos right now on Civic Center TV of a recent job you did actually helping out West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder with an incident at her home. How often should homeowners have their dryer vents professionally cleaned, and what factors might change that timeline, would you say?
Well, the industry standard as a whole is that you should get your dryer vent cleaned once a year. But I've found that not everybody has a long run. It may be a short run. So they may need it every other year just for maintenance purposes, or every 2 years. And that'll factor in once we go there and clean it out. We usually do a following year. We go there and clean it again. And that gives us an idea of how often they really should be getting it cleaned at that point.
That's right. And when people have incidents like this, who they're going to call? They're going to call you. So I'm curious if you can walk us through your process with Great Lakes Dryer Vent Services, what a typical vent cleaning usually entails.
Sure. What we do often is we go in, we check the back of the dryer, make sure the connection is connected properly, that the line isn't crushed, because folks will end up pushing their dryer back somehow, and that could pinch the, especially if it's flex back there. A lot of homeowners like the flex so they can pull their dryer out, they can clean back there, and then when they push it back, sometimes it gets crushed. So we make sure that that is clear and that there's nothing hindering that from the airflow from coming out. And then what we'll do is we'll go outside. We have specialized tools that run on air, 175 PSI. We go through with our line. It's a spinning reverse ball. So what that does is it kind of propels that line almost like a rocket to get through all the bends and the turns. And then we pull all the debris outside like you saw in those photos. And then we clean that up. We do an airflow test to make sure that it is now venting properly and that it's safe to use and, that sort of thing. So
sounds like a very intricate process. Sorry, words are tripping me up sometimes, but a very thorough process to make sure that everybody stays safe. Now, it should be noted that maybe people don't always realize just when something might be wrong with their dryer vent until it's too late. So what are some early warning signs that a dryer vent might be clogged or unsafe?
The first thing that'll happen is that your clothes they won't dry as quickly. You'll have to run an additional cycle in order to get the clothes to dry. You may end up with lots of moisture inside the dryer. Also, another indication is most of the new dryers today, they'll give an error code, and that error code will usually tell you that there is a point of blockage that you'll need to get cleaned out in order for it to run properly. But I'd say the biggest thing is probably most people catch the fact that it is taking much longer to get their clothes dry.
Okay, that is interesting. And that shows the wonders of technology, that nowadays you can get these alerts to really showcase that something might be wrong and that something may need to be addressed. And what would you say are maybe the biggest kinds of damage or risks that can truly occur if lint buildup is ignored for too long?
Well, I've had a lot of customers that say they're on their second or even third dryer because they feel like it's the dryer that's not performing properly. So they'll call a maintenance guy. He'll come out. He'll maintain the dryer and say, "Oh, it's running fine." So they're incurring that cost of them, and then they have to call us. We come in, and that's an additional cost for them. So I would say that. And then as far as damage is concerned, a lot of times when the dryers are not venting properly, there's a safety feature inside the dryer that will trip sort of a breaker, if you will, that you have to get reset by a professional because it's inside the dryer. So that'll stop drying with heat, and it'll just be cool air blowing, and then you're obviously close to get dry at that point.
And that's all great things that you are there to help make sure that these families stay safe. Once again, for those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the owner of Great Lakes Dryer Vent Services, Jason Carlock, going through things that people might want to be aware of when it comes to dryer vents or neglected lint buildup to make sure that they don't cause any sort of house fires or any sort of disasters at the home. Now, Jason, how does professional cleaning improve not just safety, but the performance and energy efficiency of a dryer?
Right. So if your dryer is performing the way it should, then you should only have to run it on one cycle. But if you're running it on multiple cycles just to get the clothes dry, you are going to be paying extra costs in electricity or gas because you're using that more than it needs to be used. So if you're doing, let's say, 4 loads and you've got to run it, your dryer 16, 17 times just to get those loads dry, there is a cost factor to that too. It's going to cost a little more.
Yeah, 16, 17 spins, that's way too much, and that definitely does show that something might be amiss in the household. Now, Jason, what tips would you give homeowners for routine dryer care between professional cleanings to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, well, lint is always going to get past the lint trap, but you want to make sure that in between every load, you're cleaning that lint trap very well, getting all the lint out of it. And a lot of the dryer sheets, what they do is they melt the product onto the clothes, which in turn makes them soft. So a lot of times that will bake into the venting itself. So I would just say make sure that your screen is not getting blocked up. And if for some reason the screen is getting blocked up, then what you're going to want to do is you want to soak it in hot water with a little bit of Dawn dish soap, and then make sure it's dry before you put it back in. And that should definitely help with that. And then just make sure you keep that clean all the time, that you're not running it multiple loads with the lint without emptying the lint tray. So.
All right, definitely learning a lot of information and definitely a lot of tips that people can take home with them to tackle their own dryer and to make sure that this doesn't happen at their home. But I am curious, what's the biggest misconception that people tend to have about dryer vent cleaning or dryer fire risks?
Well, I don't think it's really a misconception more than it is just out of sight, out of mind. Most dryers exit out the back of the home, the side of the home. A lot of homeowners aren't back there looking. There's multiple different venting things that you have for your furnace, for bath fans, different things like that. So you're so used to seeing them, and there's so much other sort of maintenance that you have to do on your home that people are aware of that sometimes gets forgotten. So it is important that you should, when you're doing your spring cleaning, any of that sort of thing, make sure you're going out back, looking inside, seeing if there's a lot of lint built up around the cover of the where it expels outside, you want to make sure that you give us a call or you know, a professional a call so that they can clean it out and make sure that it's safe and it's good to use.
That is what you are here to do and here to provide for the people of Greater West Bloomfield. Jason, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Where can people go to gain a little more information to help prevent something like this from happening at their home?
Well, you can go to our website, which is greatlakesdryeventservices.com. We have links on there that you can look at. And also, you can fill out a form on there, and we'll give you a call back to get something scheduled, or even if you have any concerns, or you could just call us at 248-366-4788. That's 248-366-4788, and we pretty much answer the phone 24/7, so we can get all your questions answered at that point.
All great information to keep the residents of Greater West Bloomfield safe. Jason, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Great. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Makes you think a little bit as you clear out the lint trap next time you do your laundry. And these are very real situations, even recently affecting West Bloomfield Township Clerk Debbie Binder in her home. While she did experience a home fire caused by buildup in her dryer, all is well in the Binder household, and everything is fine with the clerk as well. Just a lesson learned the tough way, and now we have some of those lessons being taught to us in a much easier fashion from that interview between Jason Carlock and Jake Schaff from our team at Civic Center TV. If you just tuned in, you missed a bit of that interview. You can find it on demand on civiccentertv.com, and plenty of clips from that segment as well, all across our social media. One of Michigan's most dominant swimmers hails from right here in Laker Nation. Elizabeth Eichbrecht recently committed to swim at Indiana University, capturing the eye of Hoosier swim program as she took the record books by storm in the 200 and 500-yard freestyle, as well as other swimming categories this season and before. Elizabeth joins us now to talk more about her historic performances at West Bloomfield High School in the pool, as well as her Big Ten future. Elizabeth, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Glad to have you on, as you just recently committed to swim at Indiana. A pretty big accomplishment for anyone to be able to play their respective sport at the next level, especially in Division I, especially at a Big Ten school. What about Indiana made it the perfect situation for you?
I think just like the coaching staff and the team and how welcomed I felt when I was there.
And then you've been swimming for quite a long time, and these particular categories that you swim in, you clearly are very dominant in. So where did your swim career begin, and was there a point in time that you realized you might really be able to do this at a high level competitively?
I mean, I started swimming when I was 8, and then I just kind of have been swimming since. I guess I realized I didn't even think about college swimming. I didn't really even know, I guess it was a thing until maybe end of 8th grade, start of freshman year. And that's when it was in my head, oh, I actually do want to do this and I actually can do this.
And so a lot of the particular races that you're in are some of the distance ones, 200 and 500 meter in particular, but you also participate in other events like the 100 meter butterfly and the 200 meter individual medley as well. So you kind of swim throughout a different variety of categories, but clearly your strongest areas are those freestyle races. What about those do you think best aids you in competing with some of the best swimmers across the state and having you have the results that you've been able to accomplish at West Bloomfield High School?
I mean, I just like those events the best, I guess. I don't know. My coach kind of trains us. We don't specify in any events, so having more events is always good in swimming. Specializing is not really a thing until college. And even then, some people don't. But I don't know, I guess the 200 and the 500, I like the best.
Elizabeth Eichbrecht is with us on the Splash Live, a student at West Bloomfield High School and quite a prolific swimmer as well. Recently signed her national letter of intent to continue swimming at Indiana University, along with a couple of other athletes too in their respective sports. You can see that full report, civiccentertv.com, on our on-demand page. Jake Schaft spoke to those other students and many of the coaches as well to get that update. Elizabeth, we had talked to your coach also, who had mentioned that one of the things that you've been working on is racing your own race, not really being concerned about the other people in the pool alongside you, the level of competition you're going up against. And that really does put a focus on the mental side of athletics in general, but it's especially something that I'd imagine has to be a huge part of being competitive in the pool. So how much does the mental aspect of swimming play into your success this season and in the past?
Oh, the mental aspect of swimming, it's big and like from everybody. I found that for some people it's everyone's different. For me, just not thinking about it too hard and just going out and having the race plan that Ronson and I talk about beforehand already set, and then just thinking about what I'm gonna do and pretending like no one else is around me is it's been more beneficial to me this year than more years in the past.
And when we cover mostly team sports, you hear this from coaches about, hey, everybody, look, we might be winning a lot of games. We might be on a winning streak. We might be deep into the playoffs. We might be on the verge of winning a championship or another championship. But collectively as a team, we've got to keep ourselves humble. Now, recently, you've picked up sort of a label as Michigan's top high school girls swimmer. So as you pick up that moniker, as you continue to be dominant in the pool, what do you do to keep yourself focused and eliminate that sort of noise that comes from outside to keep yourself focused on getting stronger and stronger in the pool?
My team kind of grounds me. Just being around them every day, my club team and my high school team, just practicing with them and being with them, you don't think about it at all. It's just a label.
When I was in high school, I was a runner, and I got this question all the time, and everyone that I'd asked this question to as well at that point in time, because it was so interesting to me, would have a different answer. And I would think for a distance swimmer, it would be sort of the same thing. When you're in the pool and you're racing those longer distances, especially 500 meters, that's a long time to be just you in the zone, swimming and racing your race. So what goes through your head as you're competing at this level and as you're going through what often is quite a long and very involved race?
To be honest, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember a lot after I race. So I think during my race, but then I get out and I don't remember anything.
And I mean, hey, if you're focused on what's ahead of you in the pool and just racing your own race, as we mentioned earlier on, that's the kind of result you're hoping you're going to have. You get out of the pool, you don't remember what you were thinking during the journey, but at the end of the race, you look up, you see yourself at the top of the leaderboard. And Elizabeth, for you, that's been the case. Multiple West Bloomfield High School records, OAA meet records as well throughout these recent seasons that you've been swimming for the Lakers. What do those records mean to you, to look up at those boards at your school that you've been swimming at for all these years and see that you're at the top of the list and you're that kid that people are going to be looking at in years to come and say, I want to be right there next to Elizabeth?
It's an honor, truly. I can't really put into words how much it means to me, but there's always more to chase, more to go after. It never stops.
Elizabeth Eichbrecht is with us, one of the greatest swimmers in the history of West Bloomfield High School, and just recently committed to continue her swimming career at Indiana University. Elizabeth, you mentioned earlier on, you've been swimming since you were 8 years old. You've been able to consistently improve, and from even as a freshman at West Bloomfield High School, somebody that got the attention both of the Lakers swimming team and swim teams all across the state of Michigan. So for those kids that are 8 years old in West Bloomfield, just starting out swimming, maybe just starting their competitive swim careers and that journey now. What's your advice for them to be able to get to your level maybe someday? What do they need to do to improve and still enjoy the sport along the way as you've been able to accomplish?
Work hard, play hard. I have met probably some of my greatest friends through this sport throughout the entire country. I am very close with a lot of them, and just making friends and having that fun side of the sport while working hard is probably like the key thing.
Well, we are so proud of you here in West Bloomfield for your accomplishments in the pool at West Bloomfield High School and the way you've been able to promote the sport of swimming all across the state of Michigan with your performances, and we'll be rooting for you as you continue on at Indiana University. Elizabeth, before we let you go, any lasting message for Laker Nation and for your teammates?
Go Lakers!
We appreciate your time. Elizabeth Eichbrecht with us from West Bloomfield High School, just committed to continue her swimming career at Indiana University, and for, well, hopefully many years to come. We'll see her at the top of the record books here close to home at West Bloomfield High School, in the OAA, and all across the state of Michigan. And hey, who knows? Those Indiana records, those NCAA records, those could be next in line for Elizabeth to capture going forward. If you would like to congratulate Elizabeth and those other athletes that recently signed their national letters of intent to continue their athletic careers at the college level from West Bloomfield High School, join them on the West Bloomfield School District Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools or on Instagram at W Bloomfield Schools. Congratulate them and continue to follow West Bloomfield High School athletics as those seasons continue through the winter and the spring. All things Wolverines are online and everywhere that you can get your podcasts and other content with a familiar, frameable face from close to home over at the Orchard Mall. Doug Cohen, a professional photographer and social media guru hailing from right here in West Bloomfield, is also an alum of the University of Michigan football program. And now he is bringing fans closer to that insider role than they've ever been able to get before in Ann Arbor with Hail Media. I spoke to Doug about his brand new project to get all the details for you Michigan faithful. Doug, thanks for joining us and congratulations on getting this started.
Hey, thanks a lot. It's great to be with you again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to have you on. You and I talked about this off camera just shortly after the last time you were here on the Splash Live talking about Michigan football. This much more of an exciting topic, something you've had in the works for a while, bringing together a bunch of different programs that highlight Michigan sports and the culture at the University of Michigan behind its athletics. What for you sparked wanting to start a media group like this and put these shows together for Michigan fans locally and across the world?
Well, so it's an important question because the genesis of this really started out with the Football Alumni of Michigan, which I do a lot of work with. It's a nonprofit and an organization and a topic that's really near and dear to my heart because the purpose of FAM, of Football Alumni of Michigan, is to try to help former players in need. You know, a lot of guys come out of that program and playing Division I football, you know, battered. And not necessarily in one piece, and some of them suffer from CTE and depression and some of these things that they need help with. So we started to think about ways that we could get our message out as Football Alumni of Michigan, and raise funds and be able to provide services. And we figured one way to do it would be to tell our stories. The rich tradition of Michigan football, and we've got all these great stories and former players that people are big fans of still to this day from their childhood growing up and watching their exploits at the big house. So we figured we would launch a media endeavor where we could start doing some podcasts and really tell our own stories, right? But as we started to go down that road, we realized we ran into a few obstacles from a standpoint of when you start to try to monetize too many different types of content as a nonprofit, if all of that content does not tightly focus on your nonprofit mission, then you can run into some risk where they could consider it taxable income, and you could threaten your nonprofit status if you try to monetize stuff that isn't the focus of your nonprofit. So we decided, so back up a second. So Chris Howard, who was the tailback on the 1997 national championship team, he and I had been working on this idea for FAM to have this FAM media thing. And once we realized it might not be a good idea for FAM to own it because of the nonprofit issue, we decided, well, this is still a great idea. And we've already put in enough work that we're going to continue to make it happen. And the thing about it is, if by doing it separately and setting it up as Hail Media, now we can still support FAM, and FAM can actually have a podcast on Hail Media where their podcast will be focused on the FAM mission. So we can still make that happen without FAM owning the whole network and getting into these different types of content and topics that don't square with their mission. So that's the genesis of it. That's how it started. And since we started it, we've, the freedom of not having to be tied to the nonprofit mission only has allowed us to really come up with some great creative types of shows and connect with a lot of great creators in our football community and starting to expand into other sports and topics as well, like music and food and comedy. We're doing a lot of great stuff now, and it's really exciting.
And it's a great way to engage the fan community from the University of Michigan that spreads all throughout our local area, from here in West Bloomfield with a strong connection to Ann Arbor, and then all throughout the world. That's a big part of this too, because nowadays with the technology that's available, anybody can start a media venture of their own. They can create a podcast, they can create shows, but you have a unique perspective on this yourself, and Chris as well, as alumni of the University of Michigan and alumni of the University of Michigan football program, but also as fans of football also. So as you begin this, how much did fan engagement play into how you're putting together these different programs and the collective of Hail Media Group?
A big part of it. I mean, we want to involve the community and the fan base in a lot of ways. One of the things that we actually did was Chris had connected with the owner of one of these fan groups on Facebook that had 13,000 members, and had gotten to know the administrator of the group, and told him about what we were doing. They were very interested in the idea and wanted to kind of be a part of it. And so what we did was we basically took over the group. It's in the name of the group is The Big House, and now it's The Big House presented by Hail Media, and there's 13,000 members in this Facebook group. So we really wanted to try to activate those folks and get them involved. And we've had a couple of Zooms with like the team of admins, because there's multiple admins in a group. So we Zoomed with them, let them know what we were doing. We've done some exclusive content in that group and really tried to get them to be a part of it. And there's going to be some segments on some of these shows that are going to be features on fans and allow them to come on as guests and tell some of their stories. So we definitely want to involve the fans, because kind of to your point, Tyler, we're fans too. Even though we played, we're still big fans of Michigan sports and all the things that go with it, the culture around it, the music, I want to get like the marching band folks involved as well, because we love the band, and that's a big part of our culture and really the whole experience of a football game at Michigan. So there's a lot of ways that we want to get as many people kind of under the tent as possible, for sure.
He hails from West Bloomfield and online from Hail Media Group. Doug Cohen joins us on the Splash Live today. You're familiar with him from Frameable Faces Photography and M10 Social. With both of those ventures, Doug, it's never quite as simple as I shoot photos for clients and I deliver those photos to them, or I make some social media posts for clients and that's where it ends. You always find a way to take these ideas of yours that are generated from here in West Bloomfield with your businesses as you run all of them day by day to a different level. How are you incorporating that into this? Because media groups pop up all the time. They create podcasts, they create networks of podcasts, they create web shows and all of that. What are some of the new wrinkles you and your group here are throwing in that are going to make this really engaging for Michigan sports fans?
Well, yeah, so that's actually an interesting way to put it, because you're right. I say that I just wrote an article on M10 Social on my website, on the blog, about behind the scenes and the launching of a new brand. And I go into all this detail about the genesis of Hale Media, right? And you know, I've been a creator and a digital marketer now for a long time here at Frameable Faces, which is obviously very visual. You know, Allie, my wife, is the photographer here, and we had our own live stream show from the studio on Periscope when Periscope was a thing. Mm-hmm. So all of these elements that have really been threads that have run through each of these, you know, endeavors do kind of all intertwine a bit. And I've taken a little bit of what I've learned and what's worked in each of these businesses, and I've been able to weave them together. So you know, I can use what I've done with M10 Social. I've got a music blog on M10 Social. So one of my shows on Hale Media is the Maize and Blue Mixtape, which is a show based on music, and it's presented by M10 Social and Doug's Music Snobbery. So I've kind of, you know, cross-breeded those brands and brought what I've done with one to bear in the other. So you're right. I mean, we've been able to do a lot of this that I think your average person who just starts a podcast might not have all these elements to bring to it. And the thing about it is, on the content side with podcasts, Chris Howard has been in this game for a long time in the production space. He's got a production studio down in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So creating shows, pitching shows to networks, he's been doing this for a long time. So between his skill set and kind of what I've been doing on a day-to-day basis for years with content creation and digital marketing, we've been able to really bring a lot of elements to round this thing out and make it a really comprehensive network. I mean, we've got a dozen shows now already. 7 of them are already launched on the Hale Media YouTube channel, and 5 more of them are in production and about ready to get going soon. So we've got, this is not just, we launched a podcast. This is a full-blown network with lots of elements and lots of topics.
Storytelling from a number of different angles that give you some insight into the University of Michigan and their sports programs, their sports history, the personalities, and the individuals that fans have gotten to know over the years. And in the short time it's already been operating since launching, Doug, what have been some of the more exciting or unique or even surprising segments or episodes you've been able to piece together? Some of those personalities you've already brought in from Michigan lore into now Hale Media.
Yeah, well, one of the ones that I love to talk about is there was a guy who played right after me. His name's Brian Letcher, and he's had a nice long career in Hollywood. He's been a regular on the show Scandal. He's been on episodes of NYPD Blue, SVU, and he created this character. And it's one of our series on Hale Media. It's called The Brent Sparling Mysteries. And the character, Brent Sparling, is an investigative reporter, takes himself really seriously, but he's kind of a bumbling boob, you know, at the same time. And every week he covers a story leading up to the next Michigan game, but it ends up never being really about the game. It's always some conspiracy theory. Like when we opened the season with New Mexico at home, he was convinced that he'd uncovered a plot that New Mexico was going to bring their UFOs, you know, from Roswell and hover them over the big house and try to get an advantage. So they're really funny, and they've already, Sports Illustrated, SI.com, ran an article about the Brent Sparling Mysteries. So that was pretty cool that we got noticed. And every week, as a matter of fact, I think the Wisconsin mystery is probably going to drop tomorrow. So he's been great. He's really talented, really funny. So that was a big one. We've also had a big response to the animated short that we did in our series Tales from Schembechler Hall, where Chris recounts a story from the 1997 season where Lloyd Carr challenged the running backs to play like Curtis Enos. And it's pretty funny. It's a cartoon. And so we've really done some stuff that I don't think anyone else is doing. And people are starting to notice. The other show, I mean, I could talk about this all day, but the other show that I'm really proud of too is one called Blue Bloodlines. We've gotten a couple of multi-generational Michigan players to sit down, father and son, to talk about their experiences and kind of challenge each other and talk about growing up as either a son with a dad who played, or as a dad watching their son go through what they did. And we've done it with the Frasers already. Steve Frazier, who's on the 97 team, and Blake Frazier, who's a current tackle on the team, and Caden Colasar and his dad, John Colasar, who was my teammate at Michigan. And both of those segments are gold. I mean, they're just great conversations to see them, father and son, sit down and talk about their experiences at Michigan. So we're really, really excited about the stuff we're putting out.
We have so many connections between West Bloomfield and Ann Arbor, as I said earlier on. Any chance in the near future, Doug, we may see some of our former West Bloomfield Lakers make appearances on Hail Media?
Hey, we would certainly like to, especially for the so right now some of those guys are very busy.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
in the middle of the season because they've had so much success, and some of them are still playing. I would love to get some of those guys, Makari or Donovan, or, even Samaj at some point, even though he's currently playing. But yeah, I mean, I would love to put a focus on some of the local guys. I mean, we're really excited to see the success of the West Bloomfield Lakers, a mile and a half up the street from the studio here. So I would love to have that happen soon.
All right, Doug, before we let you go, because we do got to move on now, you mentioned earlier on fans can get involved not only by watching a variety of different programming and getting some insights into the University of Michigan football program and other sports from those with inside perspectives, but also they have a way to engage in these shows. Also, if they want to at least view them, if not engage with them, where can they go? Where can they find you?
So they can find us on most of the social media platforms, and it's always on every one of them. It's at Hail Media Group, all one word, Hail Media Group. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow the shorts on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow the page, and you can even join the group. The nice thing about a group is it's kind of, it's decentralized. Anybody can post in the group, so you can really get involved in the group, the big house presented by Hail Media. What am I missing? We're on LinkedIn, and we're also, and the longer form content is also going out as audio podcasts on iHeartRadio and Amazon and Spotify and Apple, so you'll be able to listen to them that way as well.
All across social media, at Hail Media Group is the place to find Doug and his team as they've launched this new venture to help you get further engaged as a University of Michigan football or other sports fan. Doug, thank you so much for joining us as always.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Appreciate being with you again.
A little jab to my Spartan heart talking that much about being a University of Michigan fan, but hey, who am I to tell you what to enjoy? Hail Media is available all across social media, same handle everywhere, at Hail Media Group. This week, Greater West Bloomfield celebrated Veterans Day with the rest of our nation, but it was Election Day a week ago that brought the biggest celebration of all as the community turned to its service members to honor and serve them at the Heroes Appreciation Breakfast. Jake Schaff has his story.
It's one of the most important days in the West Bloomfield community, the day of the annual Heroes Breakfast, put together by the great people at West Bloomfield Parks and all held right here at West Bloomfield Middle School. The annual event is a touching and moving tribute to all of the veterans and heroes that make our community what it is and giving them the recognition that they absolutely deserve. I had the chance to speak with a few veterans who shared their thoughts on what this event means to them.
Well, we've been here for each and every one, and we really appreciate West Bloomfield for doing this for us. And it's tough to be a veteran from the Vietnam era, but we do appreciate everything that has happened, and every volunteer, every service person, and this community, and thank you.
It's been very, very invigorating because I'm able to see my fellow veterans and to see the outreach of the community and the people who are very, very much interested in the veterans. Just the idea of being here and being recognized is the one thing that really validates everything for me.
Well, first of all, just an amazing event. It feels good. This type of stuff makes you feel good. It's important not only for the veterans, but it's important for the community. And so to be able to do this, celebrate this way, just this is a standard that other communities should follow. Walking in here, seeing the attendance and what those folks are doing, and putting it on, I think this should be a benchmark for other communities.
What do you have to say to West Bloomfield, especially to West Bloomfield Parks, for putting on this event every single year and to be honoring the veterans every chance that they get?
An absolute huge thank you, right? It takes work. These things just don't happen. So it takes people that'll volunteer and do other things to make it happen. So I guess I just want to say a big thank you and keep doing it and encourage others to do the same.
About the people here today, everybody visiting this event, to be learning from the veterans and to be joining part in this moment together, what do you hope they take away from being a part of something like this today?
Well, I hope that they take away that those things that we were told while we were on active duty. Never forget to give back to the community, because the community has given you so much, and that's important.
Freedom is not free, and that's the thing that we need to always keep in mind, and especially with the people that didn't come back, my brothers and sisters that we miss and we'll never forget.
Community service and those at the home front are just as important as us when we deploy, because you got to come home. And what do you come home to? And so I think having this event and having those others attend is as important, if not more important, than the veterans coming. Because we get together and share an old story, but really seeing the other community members there makes events like this special.
Such a moving tribute to all of the veterans and heroes that make our community what it is. A big, heartfelt salute and thank you to every single one of them for keeping our country safe. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
You can enjoy the full event on civiccentertv.com/heroes25. Hear all of the speeches from throughout the event, including from Assistant Chief Mark Lowry, who served our nation, as well as the Brigadier General who you saw in the story as well. He'll be talking more and has an extensive speech during that particular event as the keynote. That, again, once again, civiccentertv.com/heroes25 to view the entire 2025 Heroes Appreciation Breakfast on demand. West Bloomfield is home to one of the largest Chaldean communities in the entire nation, and at the brand new Chaldean Community Center on Walnut Lake Road, the Chaldean Community Foundation is hard at work to preserve their historic language and pass it on to the next generation. Jake Schaff spoke to Chaldean Community Foundation's Farah Shamami for more inside scoop on these Chaldean language classes and more events coming up at the new community center.
Farah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Jake. Good morning. Thank you for having me on today.
Of course. Good morning to you as well. I'm going to jump right into it. What inspired the Chaldean Community Foundation to include Chaldean language courses as part of its new West Bloomfield Center offerings?
So I'm sure many people may know that there is another Chaldean Community Foundation in Sterling Heights, but this location here in West Bloomfield, the focus is on cultural preservation. And one of the things that we love to preserve is the Chaldean language. We have started classes for youth as well as adults. We kicked off in the summer and had a class for teenagers. It was very well the response to that class was amazing. We had nearly 17 kids take that class that came in every Monday and Wednesday from 9 to 11 a.m. for 6 weeks.
Great, and that's awesome that these classes have already made such an impact on the community. How would you say these classes help to preserve and strengthen the cultural identity of the Chaldean community, especially among younger generations?
Well, being born and raised here in America, we spoke primarily Arabic or Chaldean at home. But going to school, English is where we learned and picked up a new language. But then it was difficult to learn a second language. And so now a lot of the youth regret not learning the language at home. And so a lot of people are, again, they're very eager to register and start the classes.
I'd imagine so. Now, as you mentioned, there already have been a few classes that have taken place, and there's another wave of classes that is taking place right now. How has the community response been so far to the introduction of these language classes in West Bloomfield? What have some of the students had to say?
Well, the students are amazing. They walk into the class and they're greeting each other and the instructors in Chaldean. So another word for hello in Chaldean is shlama. And so that's what they say. And then when they leave, they say posh bishlama, which is goodbye. They're enjoying learning numbers and they're learning the days of the week. And, these are, although they're walking away with a great grammar knowledge, it's eventually we'd love to teach reading and writing as well.
Of course, and I like that these classes are making it so that you enter the class and you're already speaking the language, kind of like the language classes that I've taken throughout high school and through college. It's a language course, and that's exactly what you are meant to do. So that's perfect. Getting that experience out of the way is perfect. In what ways do you hope these classes will foster connection between both longtime residents and maybe some of the newest members of the Chaldean community?
Well, I think some of the connections are that, we all come from the same place. So we grow up, learning the Chaldean culture, the traditions, the heritage, but now here's another component, it's the language. And so I think this will go on for many, many years as they continue to learn. And then we're also integrating cooking. So we've started our kitchen here, and we have a demo kitchen, and we've been teaching Chaldean dishes as well.
I love that. More and more great opportunities to learn throughout West Bloomfield. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Farah Shamami, the program coordinator for the Chaldean Community Foundation, talking about the language courses for the Chaldean language that are currently underway and available with the Chaldean Cultural Center in West Bloomfield. Now, Farah, these language courses, how do they complement maybe the broader mission of the Chaldean Community Foundation and its expansion into West Bloomfield and hopefully beyond West Bloomfield as well?
So we're looking, part of it is to, again, preserve the culture. The Chaldean language, Aramaic, that's the language that Jesus spoke. We're very proud to be able to speak that language. And then as kids and adults learn it and continue to speak it, the language is more well known. Currently, we do have a non-Chaldean in our language class, our adult language class, that comes in every Monday and wants to learn because they have a lot of Chaldean clients. And so it's great to be able to communicate with others.
That's perfect. I love it. Reaching beyond the Chaldean community in West Bloomfield. I always love to hear it. And you've talked about the language classes and you've also talked about the cooking classes that are underway with the center. Are there any future plans to expand these language programs or maybe incorporate other cultural education initiatives at the new center?
Absolutely. So the language classes that we have currently for this fall semester are for youth and adults. And we'll continue to have 2 to 3 classes per semester for the different age ranges. But coming in 2026, the Chaldean Cultural Center and Museum will be moving here to the foundation from Shenandoah Country Club. So our mission here will continue to grow and, educate and inspire others.
Perfect. Bringing more history to West Bloomfield for everybody to see. That is amazing. Now, as you mentioned, the fall semester classes are currently underway. How can people who might be interested in learning the Chaldean language get involved, and where can they go to learn a little more information?
So follow us on social media. We have a Facebook, we've got Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. But also another great way to communicate with us is through our chamber or through our foundation's website, Chaldean Foundation www.caldien.org. And on there, it does say, there's a tab that says CCF West, and then you can volunteer. There are a list of events, which include the language classes as well as the cooking classes.
Perfect. Great ways for everybody to get involved. Farah, I got one more question before we wrap things up. What would you like to say to maybe some other families who are watching this, looking to get involved with the Caldien Center and looking to support the program's growth and the center's growth in any way they can, whether that be by taking classes, volunteering, or something else?
I would say that you're never too old or too young to learn something new, whether it's language, whether it's cooking. I know some of it may seem daunting, but until you're immersed in it, I think then you'll really enjoy it and say it wasn't too bad. But then also coming in here, you can schedule a tour on our site as well, and on the you can tour the building. We can walk you through the classrooms, the kitchen. We've got, very, state-of-the-art technology here. We have a beautiful library here that houses a lot of books in Chaldean as well as Arabic. So lots of great and fun, interesting things to see here. And then we're also bringing in older adult programming.
You are absolutely right. Plenty of great things to see at the Caldien Cultural Center in West Bloomfield, and can't wait to see what else is to come. Farah, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You can get even more information about the Chaldean language classes through the Chaldean Community Foundation on their website, chaldeanfoundation.org. Those classes are just a few of the many different activities that are available at the brand new Chaldean Community Center on Walnut Lake Road right here in West Bloomfield. It just recently opened, and we sent reporter Jake Schaff to learn even more.
Outside of Iraq, Michigan is home to the largest Chaldean population in the world. And just recently, a brand new cultural center right here in Greater West Bloomfield opened up for the Chaldean community to embrace and celebrate their culture. With several different amenities for the entire community, there is something for everybody here with this building and provides such a powerful connection to everyone who is proud to be a Chaldean. What has been your favorite thing to see here tonight from all the incredible amenities that are available?
So my favorite thing to see is by far the library, Bishop Brahim Library. The manuscripts, I love history, so just to see like 1,000-year-old manuscripts, that's our roots, and seeing that it's been digitized and all that they've done to preserve and keep those records and to make them accessible to future generations to come. It's really a beautiful thing.
Beautiful place, #1 community center I've seen in America. It's a full-service building, from studios to libraries, offices, Chaldean support, chamber, foundation, and the church is involved as well too. So you have priests that are active coming in and out every day.
It's really a dream come true for many people in the Chaldean community. We've been trying to figure out how can we best preserve our culture, our heritage, our identity, and this is a culmination. I mean, we've been looking at this building for more than 10 years, believe it or not, and by the grace of God, we're able to buy it about a year ago and really accelerated the renovation, and are very happy to now share this with the general community. We have a cooking demonstration kitchen, podcast studios, television studio, business incubator, a theater. These are just some of the wonderful variety of options that we have at this new center.
It's absolutely phenomenal. It's our West Campus. As you know, we've been around for almost 24 years. This is a tremendous achievement to be in this phenomenal town. We're in one of the richest communities in the state of Michigan. And it's a great honor to be here, and it's a great honor to serve our 500,000 Chaldean residents all across the United States of America. So that's what this organization is going to do here in West Bloomfield. We've got the library. We're going to have our National Museum here, and most of all, we're going to be serving our Chaldean community that's needy, that needs help. And we're not just open to Chaldeans; we're open to everybody, of course. So we're very proud of that.
Do nights like these make you proud to be Chaldean?
Yeah, I think this is what we're trying to do is create facilities that will serve generations to come. And so that more and more people will use this facility, Chaldean or not, to the greater benefit. It's educational, it's cultural, and it's meaningful. Those are very important.
The biggest thing that I want people to take away is that they need to learn to give back. That's one of the things that we're very proud of with our Jewish brothers and sisters is they're really, really good at giving back, and we want to teach our Chaldean community to do the same thing, to give back. We've raised over $15 million, and we hope to continue that. So that's the greatest achievement would be if our people learn to give back to the community.
With such a vast collection of knowledge and entertainment, there is something for everyone to enjoy with the new Chaldean Cultural Center, and it's clear just how much of an impact it's going to have on the community for many years to come. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
That's our show. I want to remind you that television that's close to home is always online on civiccentertv.com and all across our social media. Big thank you to our entire crew for making today's show possible, and of course to you for joining in as well. For our entire team at Civic Center TV, I'm Tyler Kieft. Live, local, social, this has been The Splash Live.